Today is Saturday, January 14th, 2023. And before I read the scripture for today from Ecclesiastes chapter 2, I'm going to just summarize briefly or talk about the important things that stuck out to me from Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And I guess also I'll give a brief introduction since I didn't in the last video. So, as far as we know, even though it's not directly stated, Ecclesiastes was written by Solomon. And so Solomon was on a quest for knowledge, for truth, for the meaning of life. And he was highly magnified upon the earth and had all sorts of access and wealth. He could do anything. Imagine somebody today that could just do anything that they ever wanted. They wake up and the world is their oyster every day. They can do anything that they ever wanted that is available at the time is accessible to this person, and they have all the free time in the world to seek after whatever it is that they want that day, every day. And we know that Solomon was extremely wise, and just reading through Ecclesiastes, that becomes very evident that whoever wrote this is indeed very wise. And what I pick up from chapter 1 mostly is Ecclesiastes. I don't know that it gets called this very often, but it's a very strong flat earth section of the Bible, because this person is extremely knowledgeable of the time and they have access to everything, and they give a basic understanding of, yeah, I figured out how the natural world works. That's a lot of what Ecclesiastes 1 is talking about. Under the sun, talking about how the sun hastens to the other place. Solomon was not talking about being on a spinny ball. He knew better than that. He mentions the circuits of the wind, the way that water flows. Brings me back to, I did a video on mountains or fountains. All of the water runs from the mountains to the seas in these rivers, but the seas never overflow and the water keeps coming. And so he had an understanding of the water cycle above what they teach in school today. And the eye is not satisfied. And two huge things from Ecclesiastes chapter 1 that should show you that this person is very smart. No new thing under the sun is from this. There's nothing new. Lack of originality. Solomon already knew about that. Or whoever, if it wasn't Solomon, even though that's who it seems wrote this. Whoever wrote Ecclesiastes was very knowledgeable, and they knew that everything here is vanity. Nothing here is going to satisfy you. And also, nothing here is even new. All of this has been done before. That is a big piece of wisdom that anyone should be able to confirm. That, yeah, there really is nothing new. And I believe that this is like not even just in a spiritual sense, nothing is new. I think that at this point in time, really nothing is new. I don't even think cell phones are new. I don't think technology like this is new at all. I think that when the Nephilim came down and started corrupting, sleeping with the daughters of mankind, I think that they probably already started introducing technology at that point. I think that the whole ball stuff, the whole outer spaces balls and astronauts and TV, and I think that all of this stuff has happened before. I don't think that this is new. I think that they just have history resets and technology starts again from the ground up. And it's not even really starting again. It's just that the people in control are slow leaking it again. Anyways, I think it shows that the author is a real truth seeker in the fact that you can see when he mentions that he went after madness and folly too. And that shows that they had the ability to question themselves. Maybe my smarty pants finding all the knowledge, all stuff isn't even the right way. Maybe I need to go check out these other guys too. See what they're doing. Maybe there's some wisdom in that. I think of how Jesus told us to be as wise as a serpent, but as harmless as a dove. Sometimes you do have to kind of peer to the other side and see what's going on there and test it. Because sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes the things that we think are true are actually wrong, and we do need to make that change. Oh, maybe I didn't have it right all the time. And lastly, from chapter 1 is the famous, the more knowledge you get, you're going to have sorrow. And these days, the media flips that around, or the standard, the one that people normally think of. And this just happens all the time with expressions and things. An enormous amount of daily expressions actually have sources in the Bible, but instead of using the biblical one, uh, people will just talk about lack of originality, blah 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 blah. But we should all just be saying, there's no new thing under the sun. And similar, the ignorance is bliss is kind of the modern twist on with knowledge comes sorrow. And there, if you know this is getting mathy, contrapositive, the thought that ignorance is bliss is actually not an equivalent statement to knowledge brings sorrow. The equivalent negative statement to knowledge brings sorrow is if somebody is not sorrowful, then they don't have knowledge. Or so if you see somebody walking around that truly is just happy with life, they're happy-go-lucky, everything's great, everything's grand, there's nothing to be sad about in life, you can guarantee that that person doesn't have that much knowledge. The equivalent statement, ignorance is bliss, that's not an equivalent statement, because you can be ignorant and still be sorrowful. That's still an option. Okay, that's it for Ecclesiastes chapter 1. I'm just going to read chapter 2, and that's it for this video. I said in mine heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in mine heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting mine heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works, I builded me houses, I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruits. I made me pools of water to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I gat me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. And whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. And I turned myself to behold wisdom, and madness, and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which hath been already done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happeneth to them all. Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, that this is also vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man? As the fool. Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me, for all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yea, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity, yet to a man that hath not labored therein shall he leave it for his portion. This also is vanity, and a great evil. For what hath man of all his labor, and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief, yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vanity. There is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw, that it was from the hand of God. For who can eat, or who else can hasten hereunto more than I? For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner he giveth travail to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before God. This also is vanity and vexation of spirit. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. God bless everyone.